Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jagged, Jai Masters. The spiritual path is the most beautiful and exciting thing that could ever exist. Why? Because you have two choices. You either stay caught where you are, or you go through your changes. It's that simple. What we tend to do is justify staying caught where we are. That's just how we are. Why? It's easier. You get your head into a certain space, and if things agree with it, if things go along with it, you feel better. That we all understand. If you get what you want, you feel better. If you don't get what you want, you feel worse. How's that? Anybody notice? So what we tend to do is try to get what we want. It's that simple. The trouble is, it doesn't always work, if you haven't noticed. Two things happen. One is, first of all, you don't know what you want, and that's the truth. You don't know what you want. That's why you're trying to figure it out. That's why you have trouble with decisions. You're trying to decide what you want. You're trying to decide what will make me happy, what will work for me, what will make me not sad. I don't care whether it's a non-negative or positive, same thing. It's just a spectrum. And that's what you're doing all the time. And I'm not accusing you. It's just what you're doing all the time. You're trying to find out what will make you feel better and what will make you not feel worse. Fair enough? That's a human plight. Why? It doesn't work. It has never worked. It will work for short periods of time. If you get what you want, you feel better, unquestionably. But then you want something else, then it's not the way you expected it. Then you think maybe it won't be the way you thought it was going to be. It doesn't take much. And that's the beginning of your spiritual path. You're now on the path when you understand that. I don't know what I want. I just know what turns me on right now. I don't know what I don't want. I just know what's bothering me. I'm trying to get rid of what's bothering me, and I'm trying to get what I want. It's sad. It is the essence of Buddha's teachings. And what were Buddha's teachings? All life is suffering. It doesn't mean you broke your arm. It doesn't mean your husband left you. That's how suffering is. What's suffering? What I just said. Suffering is thinking you know what you want, trying to get it, finding out it's not what you want, then changing what you want, then finding out you don't have what you want, midlife crises, this every single thing all the time. It's tough. Therefore, all of life is suffering. Not some of it. Of course, there's times where you get what you want and it seems exciting. It doesn't last. It has never lasted. You always want something else, or it doesn't turn out the way you want it to be, but your mind doesn't see that. It just sees the current moment of what's going on. And so basically, you suffer. So he called suffering not getting what you want, getting what you don't want, thinking you might get what you want someday, and waiting for it, and getting all excited about it, and then thinking that you got what you want, but it might leave you. We have this thing, what's it called? Oh, jealousy. Ever heard of it? What is jealousy? You don't get jealous about what you don't want. No one's ever gotten jealous about what they don't want. Oh, look, he got what he didn't want. You get jealous when you think you want something, or you feel you have something, and then you're afraid of losing it. Ever be afraid of losing what you think you want? Ever be afraid of not getting what you think you want? You're just afraid all the time. That's what's going on in there, is you're trying to find something that will work for you. And when you think you found it, you get all excited. And when you lose it, you get all depressed. And if you think about losing it, you get all depressed. So it's neat. It's not hard to talk about spirituality, is it? It's like talking about you. So Buddha's first noble truth was all life is suffering. Do you know that? Or do you still think there's some shining thing that's going to happen and you're going to find your goal? You're going to find what you always wanted. It doesn't work like that. It never works like that. In the short term, it does. Why? Because your mind is so stupid that it thinks it got what it wanted. Seriously. It's just, oh, this is it. Then somebody else is it. And then somebody else is it. It's always reaching for something. Is either reaching for something or running away from something. Well, Buddha's second noble truth was unbelievable. It's all you ever need to know. And that is, there's only one cause of suffering. It's not death. It's not sickness. It's not people leaving you. There's one cause of suffering. What? Preference. And it's so powerful, it's ridiculous. And I'll prove it to you. If you don't prefer something, you don't suffer. If you don't prefer something, you don't suffer. And that goes across the entire spectrum, even to the point where it's scary. If you love somebody tremendously and they leave you, but that's okay. Laugh. That's okay. That's what happened. That's what happened. I don't have a preference. The word preference is often, not often, most of the time, translated as desire. What is the difference between a preference and a desire? Absolutely nothing. You can't desire something if you don't prefer it. To have a preference, that's the deepest teaching, preference. If you have a preference, you're going to suffer. At some point, you're going to suffer. Why? Because it's not going to happen. Why? You're not God. You are at some level, but not the level we're talking about. You have decided what you want to happen. That's what a preference is. I've decided what I want to happen or what I don't want to happen. Same. If I don't want it to happen, it's a preference. If I want it to happen, it's a preference. And I suffer. Why? Because it's not going to happen. Oh, what a terrible thing to say. No, it's not a terrible thing to say. You do not run the world. You do not own the world. You're not God at that level. It's going to rain when it rains, but I didn't want it to rain. Too bad. Somebody's going to be nice when they're nice. They're going to be mean when they're mean. That's just the way it is. Can people be a different way? Can people turn on you? Can people turn on you? Have you ever noticed they can turn on you? They can be one way and then all of a sudden they're a different way. Doesn't take much, does it? Just takes mine. Huh? I decided this way. Okay? You've all had it happen. If you don't have a preference, and this is deep, we'll talk about this. And this is the deepest I can talk to you. The Buddhist teachings are the deepest teaching. The Four Noble Truths are everything, but we're not wanted to hear them. We're wanting to hear how to attract to yourself what you want. That's a big thing now. You can attract to yourself what you want. But if I attract to myself what I want and you didn't want it, now you suffer. It's selfish. Why? Because then somebody else didn't get what they wanted. That doesn't matter, right? Maybe we all can get what we want. But wait a minute. I want him and you want him. Who gets him? We'll split it. And you find out that it doesn't work that way. How does it work? Buddhists, right? Grass is green, flowers are red, water's blue. Then they send you home. What kind of teaching is that? Everything. Things are what they are. If they are the way you want them, it's because you decided you wanted it that way. How many stars are in the sky? I don't know, hundreds of billions in your galaxy. You're a little tiny planet spinning around one of those stars. Have you thought about that? What's going on? What's always gone on? Life is going on. Flowers are growing and water's raining and things are happening and people are being nice and people are being mean and people are dying. Do people die? But I don't want to die. Oh, okay. Some people don't want to die. Well, that is amazing because you're going to suffer. Why? Because you're going to die. Every single thing that ever lived died. That's what it means. Flowers are red, grass is green, water's blue. It is what it is. Now, a child says, why? And the answer is because. It's because. It is the way it is because it's that way. There are forces in the universe that are unfolding. And they're unfolding in accordance to the laws, the Dharma, right? It's called the Tao. I heard that word? The Tao. Spelled funny. T-A-O. The Tao. What does that mean? Things are the way they are. It's not a problem. They just are the way they are. That's the starting position of spirituality. I mean, again, I don't talk against the law of attraction. There is a law of attraction, period. If you focus on something, you meditate on something, you contemplate it and think, you can attract to yourself what you want. I feel sorry for you. No, I do. Because first it's selfish. What is not selfish? Understanding the reality of the universe. There are stars out there. There are black holes out there. There's galaxies out there. They've been there for what? 13.8 billion years. How long did it be here? How dare you think you're in charge? That's just the most amazing thing in the whole world. That is what ego is. That's ego. I get to have it my way. What everybody else? Who cares? That's not what matters. What matters is what I want. It is the cause of every problem that exists in this world. It's why, imagine all the people living life at peace doesn't happen. Because all the people can't agree in any way, shape, or form. That's why all the politics is the way it is, why all the ugliness is the way it is, why every single thing is the way it is. Because people have preferences. Nobody's going to bother anybody else if they don't have preferences. It's because you have a preference and you want things to be a certain way, and how far will you go to get them that way? I don't even want to ask you that because I know the answer. Have you ever gone pretty far? Ever been embarrassed? Look back, say, oh my God, how did I do that? Because you had a preference, because you have a desire, because you have a way you want things to be. And if you sit there and do that, other people get hurt. It's inevitable, is it not? That's what goes on. The Tao isn't a way. It's the way, but it isn't a way. It's not my way. You just understand that if you have a way, it's not the way, because it comes from your personal ego. Where do your preferences come from? I'm going to ask you that. Do you know where your preferences come from? They come from the programming of your past. There's not a single preference you have that you didn't see a movie, you didn't read a book, somebody didn't talk to you, you didn't get excited about something. An event took place, many events throughout your life, and they left you with these likes and dislikes. That's all they are. They're programming. No, I came up with this myself. You did not. Psychology says that your psyche is the sum of your learned experiences. And it is. That's not who you are. You're in here. You're conscious. You're a beautiful, conscious being caught in your preferences. Do you have preferences? Deep spirituality isn't about not having preferences. It's not about suppressing your preferences. What if you have a preference? You have a problem. I've learned that. 50 years I've done this. If you have a preference, you have a problem. Why? You're not going to get it the way you want it. You can dream about it. You can think about it. You can try, and you can cause a lot of trouble. So it boils down to, what does it mean to not have preferences? To suppress them? No, you're not allowed to suppress them. Well, how do I not have preferences? That's the deepest state. How do I not have preferences? You start to understand your psyche. You understand your ego. You understand how all this happened. You understand how you ended up where you are, which is you had situations in your life. Something bad happened when you were young. There, psychology. Is it still bothering you? Yes. Does it come back up? Yes. Something good happened at some particular point in time. Do you want it to happen again? Yes. That's what a preference is. That you've had an impression made upon your psyche that is influencing your life. Is deciding the decisions that you make, where you're going, who you're with, whether you're married, whether you're divorced. And so you come down to the bottom, which is, what do I do about this? What if I'm really, really interested in working with the deep teachings? You start letting go of yourself. That's what it boils down to. What does that mean? You will notice at different times that you think different ways. That all of a sudden you think this would be nice. Then you think that would be nice. Then you say, I don't want that to happen. You actually let go of that. You actually look inside and say, as long as I'm doing what I want, I'm lost. Well, what then do I do? You let go of yourself. The whole spiritual path is about letting go of yourself. You let go of yourself. You let go of yourself. Well, what's left? The self. Mayor Baba said, man minus mind equals God. If you're in here thinking what you want and what you don't want, and what you want to happen, what you don't want to happen. You get all excited about it, get depressed about it. That's you. That's your psyche. That's your ego. That's what that is, the ego. What's the ego? Is a collection of thoughts that you gathered during your lifetime, some stronger than others. Some of them didn't make any difference. They went right by. You drove by a tree, you drove by a car. Things just came and went. They came in, they went. They came in, they went. But not everything comes in and went, does it? Something gets stuck. Now, that's a neat thing. I had a discussion with this the other day. Is there anything solid inside of you that could glue it or get stuck or cement or super glue? The answer is no. No, there is not anything solid inside of you. It is empty in there, not like you're spaced out, okay? It's the empty mind. It's the empty mind. It's just basically life is happening. You're there. You're present with it. You're in harmony with it. How do you be in harmony with it? By being in harmony with it. So it comes in, it passes through. That's the great state the masters get to. It comes in, it passes through. Comes in, it passes through. It's called be here now. There's nothing happening except what's happening. There are no preferences, no concepts, no views, no opinions, no hopes, no dreams. That's talking about Buddhism. That's empty mind. What's life like? Ecstatic. Why would it be ecstatic? Because you don't have preferences. Because however it is, you're in harmony with. It's unfolding and you're part of it. You're not separate trying to make something happen. Life is unfolding. Life is happening. And you're in complete harmony. Imagine that. Imagine being completely at peace with every single thing that is for the rest of your life. That is what spirituality is. I've been quoting you from the Gita. At one point in the Gita, Arjuna is talking to Krishna, and Krishna tells him, there are these great beings, the enlightened ones. Don't use that word lightly. Arjuna says to Krishna, well, what's he like? An enlightened being. Talks he, sits he, walks like any other man? And Krishna says to him, Arjuna, you won't know him like that. He walks, he talks, he sits like any other man. If you would know him as thus, in joy is not overjoyed, in sorrow is not oversorrowed, letting goodness come when it will, and when it will depart. He walks as a stranger, a sojourner, in the midst of the qualities of nature, just as all the rivers and streams of the earth pour into the ocean, but the ocean doesn't overstep its bounds. So the world of sense pours into the yogi and leaves him as it found him, at peace, serene, content. That's enlightenment. Can you imagine being at peace at that level? That's what it takes to grow on this path. But it doesn't happen all at once. You don't all of a sudden have that. No, you have this thing called the path. You have this life that you're living. And at different times, you have different preferences. At different times, you have concepts of what you want and views of what you want and hopes and dreams. And you have all kinds of stuff in there, don't you? And it's all mental. Do you have a little voice in there telling you what's going on in there? Anybody in there talking to you? I like this. I don't like that. I want to do this. Oh, my God, I want to do this so bad. I've always wanted to do that. All right. That's your psyche. That's not who you are. Under no conditions ever is that voice talking to you who you are. You're the one who's listening. But it's hard to listen. Why? Because we have preferences. We have dreams. We have preferences. We think things are going to make us happy. And so we go with them, which is fine. I always thought that. I didn't always. It took a while, not many years, for me to catch on. If anybody asks me, what should I do? Should I do this? I say, you decide. You have to decide because you're going to do it anyways. You understand that? Your mind is in a space. It gets into a space. And it depends on how strong that space is. And sometimes there's conflict, isn't there? It looks like that, and then it looks like that, and it looks like that. Ever go back and forth? I'm talking to you. It's deep. That's what it's like to be human. It's a difficult thing to be. And so you start catching on that, okay, I need to let go of myself. What does that mean? You don't know at first. You don't know what it means to let go of yourself. And little by little, you start to catch on. You can't get slapped by life. Do you get slapped by life? Why? Because you're not in harmony. If you're in harmony, why do you do drugs? Why do you do alcohol? Why do you do all kinds of things to make yourself feel better? Because you don't feel well. Nobody does that stuff because they're happy. And so you don't even judge that. You don't judge that. Just understand. That's tough, though. Why? Because you have your preferences. You have your concepts, your views, your opinions, your hopes, your dreams. So what do? You start small. I teach this all the time. How do you do this? I have preferences. How am I not have preferences? You start by practicing not having preferences. Well, how do you do that? I don't know. It's raining out. I don't want it to rain. I wanted to go play tennis, and it's raining. Are you okay with that? No. Be okay with it. Why should I? I'm not going to answer the question because you're going to suffer if you don't. I always teach you, the weather is your guru. If you would use the weather as your guru, wait till you see how much you're going to grow. Why? You can't control the weather. It has nothing to do with you, does it? But it seems like it has something to do with you because it's not what you want. That's the essence of it. There's the core of the spiritual path. It's not what you want, but you have no right to have it not be what you want. All you're going to do is suffer. I use two things all the time when people yell at me for doing it. The driver in front of you, ever not be okay with the driver in front of you? Do you talk to them? Anybody ever talk to the driver in front of you? Does it do good? Okay, that's where your work is. You start very small, really small, and start noticing that preferences cause problems. People have road rage because of how the driver in front of them is driving. They tailgate, they beep. Start there. Start there. Believe it or not, that will take you there. You start with the driver in front of you. You start with the weather. The weather is going to be what it is. It has nothing to do with you. You have no right to even have a preference. It makes no sense. All it does is make you suffer. I prefer that it be this way. I'm sorry. It's not that way. I can't handle it. There's the next. I can't handle it. Can't handle what? It not being the way I want. Ever been there? I can't handle it. I like that. Let's talk about that. Can you suffer because you can't handle something? Because you can't handle the reality of what's unfolding? If I love you, I don't want you to suffer, especially for no reason. You don't get to suffer because it's raining. You don't get to suffer because the car in front of you is not driving properly. You don't get to suffer because somebody said something that you don't like. Can you handle that somebody says something you don't like? Do people get in moods? What if somebody's in a mood and they say something you don't like? Can you handle that? Can you handle that? Or do they have to say they're sorry? Or do they have to prove that they won't do it again? All of that is suffering, is it not? Do you want to suffer? I don't want you to suffer. I don't want you to suffer. Buddha didn't want you to suffer. He taught you how not to suffer, but it was big. He took big steps. I'm taking baby steps. If you can't handle the weather, you don't stand a chance. You hear me? If your mind can't handle the weather, if it's in there saying, oh my God, I don't want to rain. Why did it have to rain? I didn't want it to rain. You are suffering. So if you don't want to suffer, then don't do that. How do you not do that? You learn to let go. That's what I learned my entire path, all these years. You learn to let go. To let go of what? Yourself. But I have things I want. Yeah, I know you do. But I prefer, I know. See? You won't let go of yourself because you have preferences, you have fears, you have hopes, you have dreams. And I'm not letting go of those. I know you're not. Until you have to. And it takes many, many lifetimes. And that's what it's all about. So you come and you understand that I'm going to start practicing letting go of myself. What does that feel like? It doesn't feel good. At first, it doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm missing out on something. I'm giving up on my dreams. And so you look at that and you say, but it's always changing. I meet somebody, I think differently. You can fall in love instantaneously or get repulsed by somebody or something, right? It's just so easy. It's ridiculous. It changes all the time. Your mind changes all the time. Ever had your mind in a given space and all of a sudden something happened and all of a sudden in a different space? Of course it happens, all right? It's just messy in there. So what do? You start working on yourself. You seriously start working on yourself. How do you let go? Okay, here I am. I have a preference. That'd be a big one. There's a mosquito flying around, buzzing around my head. I don't like it. Is it causing you to suffer? A mosquito is causing you to suffer. Now, what do you do about it? That's a whole different situation. You start by saying, I can handle it. Every time, I can handle it. But your mind doesn't say, it says, I can't handle this. You don't ever say, I can't handle this, ever. I can handle this. I can handle this. Start small. So, what's neat, people think that that's surrender. I'm surrendering to the mosquitoes buzzing around her. Do I have to leave it there buzzing around? No. But I first have to let go. It's not that I don't swat at it. It's not that I don't do something. That's your business, what you end up doing with the stupid mosquito. But there's this moment that you let go. You say, I can handle this. I can handle it. Okay, I handled it. I let go. Deal with it. So it's not about not dealing with things. It's about dealing with them from a place of peace. I've decided, okay, this is ridiculous. There, bye-bye. I had a friend who used to go, back to God. So I'm not telling you, I would never ever tell you what to do about anything, except first come to peace. Just first let go of yourself. Let go of the fact that you can't handle it. Because if you can't handle it, you're going to suffer. If you can handle it, you're going to deal with it. Do you understand the difference? Surrender is different than people say when I wrote the book, they say, oh, you say yes to everything. That's ridiculous. Of course you don't say yes to everything. You just let go of yourself first. You first look inside and see, I can't handle this. It's bothering me. If I don't do this, it's going to bother me. If I do, it's going to bother me. I'm in trouble. Let go. Let go. How? My experience is relax. Relax. Just relax. But I don't want to relax. I know you don't want to relax. But I can't relax. Yes, you can. And here's the difference. This is the deepest thing I'd ever teach you. It is not that when you feel the tension, you feel the anxiety, you feel the need, you feel the hope, you feel the desire, that you try to make it relax. You don't make anger relax. You don't make sexual drive relax. You don't make fear relax. You don't make hope relax. You relax. You relax in the face of it. It's like you're in there and you're going to see the tendency to get tense, the tendency to grab, either grab for or push away. That's what you're doing. Something comes in, it's not comfortable. Why is it not comfortable? Because I want it. I want to keep it. So it's not comfortable because I might lose it, or I don't want it at all and I push it away. That's what you're in there doing all the time. You don't realize it because it's so big, you can't get your arms around it. You're always in there resisting or clinging. That's a Buddhist term, clinging. What does that mean? I want it to happen. I'm holding on to the thought. I'm holding on to the desire. I'm holding on to the preference. I don't want it to happen. I am pushing it away. I'm protecting myself from it. I don't want to go through this. You're always in there doing one of those two things, either repelling or grabbing. In the end, they're both the same. If you grab for something, if you push it away, it stays. Let's do that. Why do things stay in your mind? Why do things come back from your childhood? Because you held on to them. You have will. You have this thing called will. You have power inside, and you're the ultimate power inside. In fact, you're the only one in there. It's a single occupancy apartment. You're the only one living in there, and you have free will. All right. The trouble is that what you end up doing is what your mind wants. You end up doing what the impressions left upon your mind that are carried forward throughout your life. You end up doing those. But you used free will to do it. I'm going to do this anyways. So you have free will. What is will? I've described that to you before, and I don't know that anybody gets it. You go deep enough in meditation once, you'll understand what will is. Okay? Are you conscious? When consciousness focuses, can your consciousness focus? Can you stare at something? Can you get involved in something? Can you get lost in something? Can consciousness focus on something? It's always focusing on something until you get very high. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Your consciousness is distracted by thoughts and emotions and the world. You hear a noise, boom, consciousness goes there. You have a thought, boom. You have a train of toot, 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 a train of thoughts. Ever get caught in a train of thoughts? Ever get caught in a thought? Ever get caught in a thought? Just all of a sudden you have this thought, and it's like, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden you're thinking about that thought. That means you're focusing your consciousness. It got distracted by a thought. It got distracted by an emotion. It got distracted by the outside world. Can you get caught there? Can you for days, years? I've met people that thought a certain way for a prolonged period of time, and then all of a sudden started thinking a different way. And it just changed. Can it happen? Answer me. Just get distracted by a different part of your being. You have different parts of your being there, don't you? Just get distracted by it strong enough, and you're a different person. It's hard to talk about this, isn't it? No, it's wonderful to talk about this. All it takes is a thought. All it takes is meeting somebody. All it takes is somebody giving you an idea, and next thing you go run with it. And there you are. It's really beautiful to understand what's going on inside. Is it not like that in there? And then you try to say, well, how do I know what to do? Shh. That's how you know what to do. Shh. Let go. But what do I hold on to? Nothing. Nothing. That's what empty mind is. It means that's not happening inside of you. You're not getting lost in your thoughts. You're not getting lost in your emotions. You're not grabbing for pushing away. But normally we're in there grabbing and pushing away. And so what happens is something comes in and we hold on to it. Why? It felt good. We don't hold on to it. We push it away. We suppress it. That's Freud's word. There is suppression in there. What does that mean? It means it came in. I was not comfortable with it, period. And so I pushed it away. That's what suppression is. Who pushed it away? You did. Who's you? Your will. You focused your consciousness on it. You cannot push it away without focusing on it. You cannot grab it without focusing on it. It's all about the consciousness, the core of your being, focusing on something. And when it does that, it's very powerful. And that's what suppression is. He talks about suppression, repression, denial. Those are, I'm in here, I can't handle it, so I'm pushing it away. The other is desire, hopes, dreams, concept, views, preferences. Now I'm wanting it. Now what do you do when you want it? You hold on to it. Oh my God, she kissed me. Oh my God, she kissed me. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. Oh, look, she's kissing other people. What? You're either grabbing onto it or pushing it away. That's what you're doing in there. A spiritual being does not do that. A spiritual being, little by little, catches on. What? That's crazy. A thought comes in my mind and I go with it? That's just a thought. Where did it come from? My past? I had an experience I had fun with, I had an experience I didn't like, and it left this impression, a samskara. It left an impression in my mind that is so powerful that I'm now going with it. It's now going to become the path of my life. I love you, but now I love her. I thought I wanted to do this, but now I want to do that. But then I want to do that. People do that. They change constantly. They can't get anything done. They get distracted by their thoughts. They get distracted by their emotions. Always. That's what a human being is. A human being is this sad thing that's distracted all the time. That is the human predicament. And you can't even decide what you want. You see it? It goes back and forth all over the place because you have all these different impressions that got made during your entire life. You love somebody. Oh my God, I'm so attracted to you. We're going on a date. Oh, we're on our third date. It's so wonderful, right? You go there and you go to a certain place to eat and he slurps his soup. Uncle George slurped his soup. And I did not like Uncle George. He always pinched my cheek. Or, oh my God, he slurps his soup just like Uncle George. I love him. Have I exaggerated? Isn't that amazing? Wake up. Wake up. That's all that's happening. These impressions are being left in your mind and in your emotions, the heart and the mind. And they're strong. They're very powerful. Very powerful. Why? Because you're trying to be okay. I want to be okay. Of course you want to be okay. And so what you do is grab onto what happened in the past that made you feel okay. And you grab onto what happened in the past that made you not feel okay. And you keep those things and you build in your mind this structure called your ego. What is the ego? a psychological structure, a collection of thoughts and emotions that you held on to throughout your life and made a you out of it. I'm like this. I like this. I don't like that. I'm this kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. And then you try to get what you want. I know it's too deep what we're talking about, but are you willing to talk about it? That's what it's like to live in there, isn't it? You're trying to be okay. How? By making happen again what you thought made you okay last time, by not happening again what made you have problems last time. And then you built this structure, and it's called your self-concept. A concept is something that's not real. It's a concept. That's a self-concept. That's what your ego is. And then you live inside of that. And the problem is you get really stuck. Why? Because if you get what you want, you're turned on. If you don't get what you want, you're turned off. And who doesn't want to be turned on? And so you're out there grabbing and struggling and manipulating and controlling and doing every single thing you can to be okay. Spirituality is about the starting position is I am the highest being that ever walked the face of the earth. I'm always okay. I'm never not okay. If I feel not okay, it's because I stored not okay inside of me. I stored inside my mind that I'm not okay. I stored inside my mind that people don't like me. I stored inside my mind that I can't handle this. I stored inside my mind that I'm scared. I stored inside my mind and my heart these impressions that got made during the course of my life. I'm now distracted by those so much that I don't even know who I am. That's what spirituality is. Self-realization. All of a sudden, someday, I hope you find out who you are. Who am I? You're the being who's in here that's conscious. That's who you are. But the trouble is you built this structure around yourself in your mind and in your heart. And now you say, that's who I am. I'm the person who likes this and the person who doesn't like that. I don't like what you did. I don't like what you said. I like what you said. And you're just bouncing back and forth. Spirituality is about getting out. You're capable of getting out. You're a very great being. You're the highest being that ever walked the face of the earth. That's what's in there. Consciousness is the highest thing there is in the universe. Consciousness is God. Consciousness is what God is. Awareness of being universal, everywhere, is at all places, at all times. That's what consciousness is. And then that consciousness gets distracted by what you stored inside your mind, and it keeps you bound. What do you do about this? I told you. You first take a breath, and you catch on. That's what's going on. That's what's always going on. It's not that this is different or that's different. That's what's going on inside of me. I have this problem. I stored this stuff in here. And the stuff that I stored that I like, I go running after. The thing that I store that I don't like, I go running away. And there you go, back and forth. So what do? You start small. You start with the weather. And sit there and say, all right, what right do I have not to like the weather? What right do I have not to like the weather? It's crazy. Why did I give myself that right? It doesn't do anything but make you suffer. So what do? Work with yourself. Like the weather. But I don't like it. Learn to like it. Learn to like it. How? Positive thinking's nice. Mantra's nice. All your spiritual practices are about working with yourself, not going with yourself. Working with yourself. Letting go of yourself, letting go of the part of you that thinks it has the right to like and not like. That's when it gets deep, when you start understanding, who gave me the right to like and not like? The world is unfolding. It's enormous. It's going on everywhere. I try to tell you, do you understand the moment you're having right now? Here, you're having a moment. How many are you missing? How many other moments are going on all over the earth, forget earth, all over the universe, that you're not experiencing? So you're experiencing 1 out of 700 billion zillion quillion things, and that's what you pick up. You're only picking up the moment you're experiencing. How much is it compared to what is? Nothing. Therefore, you know nothing. That's when you wake up. You know, Ramadas talked about becoming nobody. That's what he's talking about. You stop thinking you know anything. You stop thinking. It's like, stop thinking. All right? There was a guy named Sufi Sam back in the 60s, and he had a saying, you get more stinking from thinking than you can from drinking. All right? And so you come down, you understand you have work to do, but the work is real. The work is never what you want it to be. It is sitting here saying, can I handle that it is raining right now? And you're going to have trouble. You have trouble handling it's raining. Does that make sense? How can you be happy? How can you be anything if you're not in harmony with reality? And so you start sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to learn to be in harmony with what is, not with what I want, not my dreams, my hopes, my fears. Those are just things that got stuck in my mind and in my heart. And I know I can't let go of them right away. You can't. They're too powerful. Some scars are extremely powerful. You've stored stuff in there that you can't get rid of. It's been there your whole life, and you know it. You're running away from it, or you're running toward it. It can go. You can work with this. You can become liberated. You can become a great being. But you have to start with the small stuff. And so you start with, I told you, I remember literally, I used to live out here alone, and it was hot in the summer, and I didn't have air conditioning in the house, and I didn't have air conditioning in the van, and nothing. And he would complain, even though he's meditating 6 hours a day. He complained the rest of the time, right? I finally sat him down, and I said, what's the problem? What's the problem? It's hot. Why is it hot? The sun. He's a smart guy. The sun, it's hot. And what is the sun, Mickey? And he said the magic words. He said, a star. What? It's a star. Are you telling me you're close enough to a star to feel its heat? Is that what's happening? Stars are pretty special things, aren't they? They twinkle at night. No, they also shine in the day. It's just a star. And you're close enough to the star to feel its heat. That's pretty far out, isn't it? I mean, seriously, think about it. There's 300 billion stars in your galaxy, and one of them is close enough to you to where you're complaining about the heat. No, you shouldn't be complaining. You should be rejoicing. You think, my God, how far away is that star? 93 million miles. That thing's 93 million miles away, and you're not getting awe that you feel its brightness and its sun. You start working with yourself to raise your consciousness, not to get what you want, to let go of this concept of wanting and needing and hoping and dreaming. Instead, now what is it? Every time I step out of a car, every time I feel that sun, I bliss out. Wow, 93 million miles away. And that's one star. Wait a minute, that's 93 million miles away. Where are the rest of them? Do you know where your next nearest star is? 4.2 light years away. That doesn't mean anything. Okay. I always teach you this. I can't help myself. Grab a light beam. Boop. Grab it with your finger. Hold it above the earth. Let it go for 1 second. It circumnavigated the globe 7.5 times. Is that pretty fast? Go that speed for 4.2 years, you'll get to the next star. Why do I teach you this? Are you kidding me? Why don't you think about that? Instead of how hot it is. That's your next star. And there's 300 billion. How many galaxies are there? They're estimated 2 trillion. 2 trillion galaxies. Where's your next galaxy? The next major galaxy, Andromeda. How far away is Andromeda? 2.5 million light years. So at that speed we just talked about, go for 2.5 million years. You're never going to get there. 2.5 million years, that's your next galaxy. How can you be having a problem? How do you have a preference? How do you have anything? It just should be like, wow. Wow. All the time. Why? Because you don't think about that. You ignore the entire rest of the universe. You ignore the entire rest of the universe. What are you doing with your mind? Now do you understand? This is spirituality. You wake up and realize, what am I doing with my life? I'm wasting it. I'm wasting it. There's this whole universe. And guess what? You're it. When Krishna answered Arjuna, there's the high beings. Let's get this right. I told you we talk about this, right? Okay, let's say you let go of yourself. Let's say you let go of yourself. What does that mean? You let go of thinking about yourself. It made me cry. You let go of thinking about yourself. You're so small. And all you think about is yourself. What do I want? What do I think? What can I get? What do I think? You're like caught in your mind. It's just a fishbowl. Where's the rest of the universe? I don't know. I don't think about it. Well, maybe you should. That's called elevating your mind. There are great beings that have had the amazing experience that's called enlightenment. What does that mean? Well, you're going to describe it pretty clean. When his guru touched him, gave him Shaktipat, which you don't have to have, don't you dare believe. You're capable, you're a great being, you're whole and complete within yourself. Things can help you, but you can liberate yourself. You can free yourself. When it's all said and done, you are a great being. Yogananda, when Yukteswar touched him, his mind his own business, all of a sudden, he merged with the universe. He merged with the universe. He became the stars. He felt his entire body expanding out at the speed of light in every single direction all at once. His body was the stars in the galaxy. And that's not a high state. There's a higher state than that. That's called Sabikalpa Samadhi, where you merge with form. You merge all of form. Nirvikalpa is when you went beyond form. You merged back into the cause of creation. You are a great being. You're selling yourself rather short. It's incomprehensible. I met somebody once. His name was Edgar Mitchell, and he founded IONS, Institute of Noetic Sciences. He's an astronaut. He came and visited me, came and visited us, and he had that experience. When he was coming back from the moon, he was looking out the window of this craft that he was behind, whatever, and he merged. He told me, his entire being, and he's a scientist, right? He's an engineer. He merged with the universe. And he came back and devoted his life to saying, how does that happen? How can my consciousness be the universe? How can it be form? What's the relation between consciousness and form? They study this stuff. I don't want you to study it. I want you to be it. That's the difference. Yes, intellectually, it's very interesting and fascinating. Inside, you who's in there, you're the greatest being ever face the earth. That's what's inside of you. That's your consciousness. But it's staring at you. It's staring at what you want and what you don't want and what you like and what you don't like and your hopes and your dreams and your concepts, your views. It's staring at your mind. That's just your mind. It's just the mind. Everyone's got one. You have one? You have hopes and dreams and concepts and views and opinions and preferences, blah, 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 blah. There. Everyone's got one. There's, 8.3 billion of you running around? That's why we don't get along. Why? We all had different impressions. So you get to the point where you understand. I started a session by saying, let's talk about spirituality. That's what we've talked about. You're a great being. You're not this little begging little creature that's trying to have things be the way you want or not be the way you don't want. You're not that. You're consciousness. And that consciousness, consciousness is a thing. It's called awareness. It's the most important thing in the entire universe. If you weren't aware, you're not here, you don't exist. You understand that? Awareness is what gives meaning to life. Now the question is, what are you aware of? A great being is aware of the self, is aware of who they are, the nature of self. And you're a great being. But what if I'm depressed? You're not depressed. You're not depressed. You're staring at a depressed psyche. You're God staring at this little thing that you made out of yourself. You just put it all together, glued it together. I'm depressed. I'm not happy. I want something. I'll never be happy until I get what I want. I have hopes and dreams and concepts and views. Fine, you're a human. I'm sorry. All right. Does anyone understand what we just talked about? Free yourself. Free yourself of yourself. We used to talk about this. What is freedom? Freedom is not freedom for yourself. It's freedom from yourself. You want to be free? Let go of yourself. Just dare. It's hard. It's hard. You won't do it all at once. Don't worry about it. But you can work on it every day. Every day. Let go of another part of your ego, of another part of this conceptual thing that you built in there that thinks it knows what it's talking about. All right. I love connecting with you at this level, right? You are a great being. Christ taught you that. As I sit by the throne of my Father, so you shall sit by my throne. And these things which I do, you should do these and even greater things. Sounds like you're a great being, the highest that could exist. All right? Wake up. Jagradav.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.